Going live. I'm live. Hi guys, it's Alan. It's been about a month and a half or so since I've done one of these little streams here. So I feel like I feel a little bad or guilty if I haven't done anything in a while. So anyway, it's been a while and I want to still talk about it. It's been over 35 years since I've had the. What I didn't know for all those years was that it was a directed energy weapon, satellite controlled. You know what happens when you're a 16 or 17-year-old kid in high school? You just know it feels like you're having a heart attack. Um, you don't know you're too young to have a heart attack. 16, 17, playing sports, otherwise healthy, and you shouldn't be having heart attacks at 16, 17, but you just know for whatever reason, you double over in pain and it hits you right here. It doesn't hit you right here or the heart, but it feels like when you do the salute, the Pledge of Allegiance, you put the hand on the heart. And it does. It feels right here. And outside of that, it just feels like, and I had no idea for all those years, well, stress or psychosomatic or something. And it wasn't until 2015 when you start hearing the people yapping, the voices from under the ground, as far as like the room underneath the flooring, the garage, or next door. And you just feel somebody's messing with you, playing with you, fucking with you. And you look for a reason. Well, yeah, I didn't do anything to anybody, literally ever. I didn't have any enemies. I never hurt anybody. But you think, well, maybe there's something. You certainly, if you're part of from a religious conservative town, you don't, and that's saying drain the swamp. You certainly don't think that somebody in charge or a group of people in charge are suddenly going to be trying to torture you to death, and then you find out there's months, maybe a year or two goes by, and you find out this is happening to other people. And then people that, when I heard people like on TV talking about this or in the news, you think there may be something psychologically a little off. You try to be very rational, and then this happens to you. And then it's like, oh, then it's the weird realization, oh, this is real. Those people, they weren't kidding. When you know you're an otherwise just a common sense person, with not too much drama in your life, or you just know it doesn't matter drama. You just know you're not crazy. You just know somebody's fucking with, and you don't know why. And then and then you don't have a reason why, and then you find out there's a community of people that are having this too. Hey, is that the real Brian too? Hey, Brian. I don't know. It says Brian on here on the thing. I hope it is. It'd be great. I remember, Brian. I checked out your thing a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know if it's really you or if it says Brian too on my yapping thing but I don't know if it's that or if it's really you, Brian too, or if it's the Fusion Center. I know you're trying to get out of some places in, I forget what country, and they were still zapping you. One time they did a fake thing. They had my name on, and then it said something about going to the gym. And I remember you talking about that they will mess with your, and it's like, oh, what the heck? I woke up and it's like somebody, oh, Brian too. And they already had my name written on there, and something's like, oh, what the hell is that about? So anyway, I hope you're doing. Gaslighting, used to discredit victims by a false narrative which leads another person or a group of people to doubt their own perceptions to the extent that they become disoriented and distressed. To doubt their own perceptions. This dynamic is generally only possible when target is vulnerable, such as in an unequal power relationship or when the target is fearful of the losses associated with challenging the false narrative. Now that could, yeah, for me, that's, I can imagine if a person um, married with kids. I don't have those issues. So I don't have the normal stresses that a married person with kids, and so more introvert. I'm more introverted. So, and I've never really hurt anybody. So when I didn't have a, any real guilt. But one thing, Brian, that you did say on one of your videos is that they do these scripts, repetitive scripts, and I think Dr. Robert Nuncan talks about religious scripts, and I know that the only mental thing is scrupulosity, which is a religious OCD, where you're always thinking about a theological, or is this right, wrong, is every, try to do thing in an ethic. You just try to. But I wasn't so uptight to where I couldn't enjoy a beer and a cigarette, which I still enjoy a cigarette, and I don't think it's a moral issue. Anyway, Brian, I hope you're doing okay over whatever country you're in. That's the thing. It's they can put your name down and just pretend. It's like those fake videos and fake videos where they, with Tom Cruise, that make it look like Tom Cruise, but it's not, and they look just as real as actual historical videos. I know with V2K in my case, and they're always saying he's scared or he's not. In my case, he's not scared. Now, for this, it's been since 2015, 6 years, and he does know, and he doesn't know. He knows, he doesn't know. They've been saying this a lot, and that part is probably just some sort of repetitive CD that is constantly going on. He knows, he doesn't know, or he's not scared. And it's not that it's, in my case, it's not that I'm some brave, hugely brave person. It's just one of the things they've always done to me is that there's directed energy weapons, the shocking things. It's always been to one place. I don't really get it on the head, like not headaches much. I had it once or twice, but it's always been since 15, 16, just right here. Nowhere really else. I have it once in a while in the last couple months, the appendix area, but it's always heart, to where it's like necrotic. There's part of it that's just necrotic. And I wasn't even sure if it was them, but then just to show that they could do it, they were kind of the best. When it's happening, you kind of get a mental picture of what it would look like. And it looks like they're just not taking like a finger, but just feels like they're rubbing up against the side of what would be the necrotic tissue, just to show that it's them. And then you can hear the V2K saying, yep, that's us. We're doing that to you. And they're constantly there. And it's just a constant thing where they're always there. And sometimes I can get some rest. Other times it's just they're yapping, just constantly yapping. There's a couple, this is going to sound, I don't know, controversial. A couple good things that this program has shown me is literally for over 30 years, 35 years, I've had the side pain. And for over 20 years, I've been taking like a medicine for it, not knowing or not being diagnosed what caused it. Just no one telling me what it was, having to go to specialists, OHSU, and it's for every single day, every hour. I'm not trying to be on the competing in the suffering hall of the suffering Olympics. Who said that? I forget. When bad things happen, Harold Kushner. I'm not trying to compete in the suffering Olympics. Other people in burn wards and all that, but it's just every day. It's literally this, to where you're needing a pain meds, and it's literally they've made it necrotic, and you just want to know what it is, what caused it, what did we know? Is it something they're fixed? I thought the people in my town, including the people at City Hall, were good people, probably conservative or religious, or that's the town I was from. This is a conservative religious town. All the schools, the grade schools, even allow weekday school of the Bible, so they're very proud of their conservative religious roots, and but they allow liberals and humanists in there. They don't try to chase them out or nothing, so that's good. But it still just has a conservative religious base. But I've spent enough years studying just apologetics and religious and humanistic to where I'm not like a bigot against any group of people. I don't have a prejudice against one or the other. I like to listen to both and to hear what they come from. It is. It is an absolute, Katie. That's exactly it. It's yeah, I agree with all that. It's just, but the one thing I'm glad at is that literally when I found out what this was, to know that there's a group and to know what caused the side pain. For all those 30 years of not knowing what it was, my doctor not telling me, sending me to a specialist, which I asked him to do, and they tried different things, Neurontin, TENS units, um, patches, lidoderm, and then finally medicine that took took some help, but not realizing that it was done intentional, that this was actually a government program that they were doing to me when I was in high school and Bible college. Yeah, Bible college. Studying for Old Testament survey or Life of Christ, and they were still doing this. And so people, and I was nominated for the guys, class of '89, most friendliest of my class of '89 in Dallas. Um, so I wasn't like a popular, but I was nice, just nice to everybody. And so I knew I didn't piss anybody off. I didn't even swear much at that time, just darn, but now I don't go swear your ass or that. But anyway, I was just tried to, P's and Q's and not be a dick to anybody. And I've always been that way, just not be a dick to anybody. And yet they still even want, and I had no idea why I was in pain. It wasn't until 2015, 2016, over 30 years of this stuff, going on 35, with the V2K that I put two and two and heard about the TI community and realized direct energy weapons. And it's like, this is around the same time that the Havanna stuff started making the news, Havanna Syndrome. And it makes you wonder, is the government trying to just make an alibi? Because there's so many thousands of us that it's embarrassing. They wanted to kill us off, and how many of us we've been killed off? They don't want it to get it. It's kind of like the Church Commission, MK Ultra. The majority of the paperwork was burned, but some of the paperwork was found. The main guy tried to get rid of it and burn it or something, but they found some of the paperwork, and that's what opened up the church. Frank Church started the church committee meetings in 75, 76, and that started Congress, in the Senate, whatever, just looking into it, the testimonies of all these people and the abuses that went on. And then you had Bill Clinton saying in 95, admitting to the abuse of experimentation, saying they won't do it again, and that people experimented on should be compensated and it should never be done again. And of course, 10 people were there. One of the people was Anthony Fauci's wife, Dr. Christine Grady. That was from 2009 to 2017, and I think they did away with, I don't know if they have another bioethics symposium group, but I know that particular group went out, I think, with Trump. I don't know if Trump still did. I know I don't think the Patriot Act is law anymore. I think under Trump in 2020 it went out, and I don't think it's ever been reinstated. So that they're still thinking that they're getting legal cover, but again, is it legal or illegal? It's illegal in other countries. Some states have legal laws. I think Wisconsin, but maybe Michigan, but I haven't done enough study on it. I've seen other people talk about in different states. But the thing is, it's just how do you prove it, because it's wireless technology. And it's weird when you're from a city or a town with a bunch of conservative religions that are chanting, drain the swamp. And there's nothing more swampy than a bunch of people getting extra money from torture, and trying to get a person who's never hurt anybody, trying to get them to commit suicide. And a lot of them are just religious, conservative people, and you're like, they wouldn't do that. They would not do that. And it's like, yeah, they would. And yeah, they really are doing that. And I think Jesus would say, well, you can't serve God and mammon or money. And they're, in their own little way, they're saying, oh, yeah, you can. They're saying, yeah, we do it all the time. We love both God and money. Actually, money takes well, you'd be amazed at the shit we do for money. We will even torture people and go to their funerals knowing we caused their death, and even shake hands with the mother or the dad or the brother or the sister of the person that we caused their death, and pretend and even read scripture with them. And it's just it opens your eyes at how people can compartmentalize their morality. As long as they are getting a big paycheck, they'll get mad as hell about any particular person in politics for the smallest thing, a sexual thing, or maybe they got too much money, they did a bribe, which are bad things. But they're part of a torture and suicide campaign, torturing somebody. They literally pay people to wake up every single day to torture people, to torture a person or people. They wake up, they pay people to go to their job, and their job is to torture somebody every single day until they kill themselves. And a lot of these people that are, they're religious, or some are just, some are humanists, some are New Agers, but they're just capitalists. So this is not trying to be an anti-religious bigot, but it's just there's religious people, or conservatives, and some liberals, and some Democrats, and some Republicans. It's the whole, they're just capitalists. And they compartmentalize their morality. They'll be mad as hell about the littlest thing somebody else does in a different religion or a different politic, and the next day be perfectly fine with knowingly being part of a torture and suicide campaign. But at least when you're a TI and you find out finally what's happening, what's going on, at least finally, you know what's going on. And for me, I'm thankful, because I went 30 years just paying and not knowing what was causing it, not knowing, and then the TI and the weird gang stalking and the street theater. At least now I know what's going on. Then I went to the Ella Free rally in Portland, and thank God for that, because finally it's like, oh shit, this is a real thing. And the people in my little town, and now I'm living in Salem, they know it, and they're living with it and paying people to do this every day. And it's just like, now if you're a person like me, you're raised conservative, and then you know I have some liberal tendencies, but in some parts I can watch Fox News, and other times I can watch Tucker, other times I can watch CNN. So I'm comfortable with both sides, and just hearing what people have to say on issues, religious, humanist, New Age, listening to people. But it's just amazing, just that people can do that, and just bullshit their morality, and anything for a buck. Anyway, I'm going off on the thing. So it's been a while, so I would suggest looking at some. I want to know if targeted justice is going on still. Hopefully Ella Free is. I think I just have to check that on it. I've been only looking on YouTube, so hopefully there's some other BitChute or something, or other groups, Vulcan Wolverine. Anyway, Brian, I don't know if it really is you, Brian, too. I hope if it is, I hope you're doing good. I know in the other countries, um, they've been treating you pretty shitty over there. Um, all other TIs. Um, yeah, hopefully. It's funny because with that Havanna Syndrome, they aren't talking about it. They're admitting that they believe that the government always knew or thought that it was crickets chirping that caused Havanna Syndrome, and that they put the story out there. This is their official story on Breaking Point, kind of a progressive news group. That there 8 out of the 24 cases, or whatever it was, there's 200 cases, but 8 of them were they were trying to pin it on chirping crickets, that sound that we hear, that high pitched sound, not vertigo, but the high pitched sound on cricking, crickets. And they knew it from 2018, but they still put the story out there. And Kamala Harris's trip to Vietnam, it happened to her people, happened to the main guy of the CIA, his entourage, getting Havanna Syndrome. And it's just, they knew from their own viewpoint what I think. I mean, it's real. We know that it's not crickets or chirping crickets. We know it's just satellite based microwave weapons. We know it is. But they're doing this. It's an alibi cover story, blaming it on Cuba, Russia, China, because there's too many of us. But it's just interesting that they keep on coming up with other stories every couple of months with another group of people, wondering, are they trying to put it out there that it's other countries because there's too many of us? And I really don't know. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll hopefully put another one out in a little bit, a couple days or something. All right. Bye, guys. At the bottom of the spacecraft, that silver shroud is a parasol.